I never thought a simple road trip through the Arizona desert could shatter my world. But that's exactly what happened. We were supposed to be heading to a weekend getaway in Sedona. Jake had pitched it as a chance to unwind, bond with his brothers, Tom and Mike, and shake off the rough patch we'd been in. I hesitated at first. His brothers had always treated me like an outsider. Their snide remarks and eye rolls making family gatherings feel like walking on eggshells. But Jake pleaded, his eyes soft like they used to be early in our marriage. "Come on, Emily. It'll be good for us," he said. I caved, packing a cooler with sandwiches and water, hoping for the best. We piled into Mike's beat-up Ford pickup, the kind that's seen too many miles on dusty backroads. I squeezed in the middle, Jake on my left, the gear shift digging into my knee. The sun baked the cab as we drove west from Phoenix, the landscape blurring into endless cacti and red rock formations. Tom and Mike blasted country radio, belting out lyrics off-key, their laughter booming like thunder. I tried to join in, offering chips from the bag I'd brought, but they barely acknowledged me. "Thanks,"
Jake mutered.
but his tone was distant, like he was already regretting bringing me along. Deep down, I wondered if this was another test, another way for them to poke at the cracks in our relationship. Jake had changed since he lost his construction job last year. The man who once surprised me with wildflower bouquets now snapped at the smallest things. I'd suggested couples counseling, but he brushed it off. "We're fine,
Babe.
stop overthinking." But inside, my mind raced. Was I holding on too tight? Was I the reason his brothers saw me as the nag who stole their fun-loving sibling? 3 hours in, we pulled off at a rundown gas station near the edge of the Navajo Nation. Nothing but scrub brush and a faded sign advertising cheap smokes. The pump clunked as Mike filled the tank, and I stepped out to stretch my legs, the heat rising off the asphalt like a mirage. "Gonna grab a soda," I said, heading inside. The clerk, an older Navajo man with weathered skin, nodded silently as I paid for a Coke and used the restroom. When I walked back out, squinting against the glare, the truck was gone. At first, I thought it was a joke, one of their stupid pranks, like the time they hid my keys during a barbecue. I scanned the horizon, heart skipping a beat. "Jake?"
Guys.
My voice echoed off the empty lot. No answer. Panic crept in as I spotted a crumpled receipt by the pump, scribbled with Jake's handwriting. "Good luck finding your way back." My stomach dropped. They hadn't just left. They'd taken my purse, my phone, everything. Stranded in the middle of nowhere, with no ID, no money.
Just the soda in my hand.
I rushed back inside, breath ragged. "Did you see where they went?" The clerk shrugged, drove off laughing. "Said you'd figure it out." Tears stung my eyes.
But I swallowed them.
How could Jake do this? The man I'd vowed to love through thick and thin? Inside, a storm brewed, betrayal mixed with rage. But beneath it, a whisper of relief. Maybe this was the push I needed to stop pretending our life was salvageable. I didn't crumble. Instead, I asked the clerk if I could use his phone. He hesitated but handed it over. No one to call. My sister was back east, and admitting this humiliation felt impossible. But I couldn't stay here. The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows. I started walking west, toward the unknown, each step fueling a fire in my chest. Why had I let them diminish me for so long? The questions looped in my mind. Was I too weak to leave before? No more. This abandonment wasn't the end. It was my beginning. As miles blurred under my feet, blisters forming on my heels, I replayed our life. Jake's charm had hooked me 5 years ago at a Phoenix rodeo. He was all smiles and strong arms. We married fast, dreaming of a ranch house with kids. But unemployment hit him hard, turning affection into resentment. His brothers amplified it, their jokes chipping away at my confidence. "Emily's too uptight for desert life," Tom once sneered. Jake laughed along, never defending me. Inside, I'd scream, "Why don't you see how much this hurts?" But I stayed silent, fearing I'd lose him. A dusty SUV slowed beside me after what felt like eternity. The driver, a middle-aged woman with sun-bleached hair and a kind smile, rolled down her window. "Need a lift?"
Hun.
"This heat's no joke." "Evelyn." She introduced herself. A retired teacher heading to Flagstaff. I climbed in, grateful but guarded. "Rough day?" she asked gently. I nodded. "Spilling just enough. Family trouble." She didn't pry, just shared stories of her own escapes from bad marriages. "Sometimes walking away is the bravest thing," she said. She dropped me at a small motel in a blink-and-miss-it town, slipping me cash for a room. "Pay it forward someday." Alone in the dim room, exhaustion hit, but so did clarity. No more begging for love that wasn't given freely. Tomorrow, I'd rebuild from scratch, on my terms. Waking up in that motel room felt like emerging from a fog, the thin curtains letting in the harsh Arizona morning light, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. My body ached from the walk, but my mind was sharper than it had been in years. No more denial. Jake's betrayal wasn't a one-off. It was the culmination of a marriage poisoned by neglect and cruelty. As I splashed water on my face in the tiny bathroom sink, memories flooded back, each one heavier than the last, twisting my gut with regret and fury. Why had I stayed so long? That question haunted me as I stared at my reflection, eyes puffy from unshed tears. Jake hadn't always been this way. When we met, he was the guy who made me laugh until my sides hurt, who drove us out to the Grand Canyon just to watch the stars. "You're my forever, Emily," he'd whisper. But forever cracked when he got laid off from the oil rig. Bills piled up, and I took extra shifts at the diner back home to keep us afloat. "I don't need your pity," he'd snap, retreating into beers with Tom and Mike. His brothers were the real venom. Tom, the loudmouth mechanic, and Mike, the perpetual bachelor with a chip on his shoulder. They treated our home like their playground. They'd crash unannounced, raiding the fridge and mocking my attempts at normalcy. "Emily's playing house again," Mike once jeered when I cooked dinner. Jake chuckled, but inside, I seethed. "Don't you see they're tearing us apart?" I confronted him once, voice trembling. "Your brothers make me feel invisible." He rolled his eyes. "Lighten up,
Babe.
it's just guy stuff." The pranks escalated, each one eroding my self-worth. They swapped my shampoo with dish soap, laughing as I emerged from the shower foaming. "Classic," Tom roared. Jake high-fived him, ignoring my humiliation. In bed that night, I lay awake, thoughts racing. Am I overreacting? Or is this abuse disguised as fun? I suggested therapy again. He stormed out. "You're the one with issues." The emotional toll was worse than any physical ache. I'd curl up alone, questioning my value. Why wasn't I enough? Jake's affection dwindled to obligation, his touches mechanical. One night, drunk after a bar crawl with his brothers, he confessed, "They say you're dragging me down." My heart shattered, but I patched it with excuses. Maybe if I tried harder, cooked better, laughed more. That road trip was my last straw of hope. Jake's plea felt genuine.
But now,
Abandoned, I saw it for what it was, manipulation. They'd planned it, taking my things ensured I couldn't easily return. Legally, it was abandonment, maybe even theft. But out here in the West, proving it without witnesses felt futile. Still, the thought empowered me. I could file for divorce on grounds of desertion. Arizona's no-fault laws on my side. Hunger gnawed at me, so I ventured out, using Evelyn's cash sparingly. The town was quintessential Southwest, adobe buildings, a single diner with a neon sign flickering, open. I pushed through the door, the bell jingling like a warning. The smell of huevos rancheros hit me, stirring a pang of homesickness.
But no.
That life was gone. Behind the counter stood Maggie, a no-nonsense woman in her 50s with salt and pepper hair and a tattoo peeking from her sleeve. "What'll it be?" she asked, eyes appraising. I ordered coffee, voice steady despite the turmoil inside. As I sipped, I mustered courage. "Any jobs around here?" She raised an eyebrow. "You running from something?" Honesty bubbled up. "Trying to start over." She tossed me an apron. "Clear tables. If you don't screw up, we'll talk." The work was grueling, balancing trays, dodging spills, but it grounded me. Between shifts, my mind wandered. What if Jake was regretting it now? Picturing him laughing with his brothers fueled my resolve. No calls.
No begging.
This silence was my weapon. Evenings in the motel were lonely. The TV's hum my only company.
E di pace.
Inner monologue relentless. "You've survived worse." The miscarriages Jake dismissed. The isolation he enforced.
Now.
"You're free. Build something real." One night, a storm rolled in, thunder shaking the walls like my suppressed anger. I cried then, not for him, but for the years wasted. Tomorrow, I'd be stronger. Weeks blurred, tips accumulated in a jar under the bed. Maggie noticed my diligence. "You're tough.
Kid.
Stick around." Her words cracked my armor. Someone saw me, valued me. Inside, hope flickered. Maybe this desert wasn't barren after all. The diner became my sanctuary, a place where the clatter of plates drowned out the echoes of betrayal in my head. But the emotional weight grew heavier each day, as if the desert winds carried whispers of my past, urging me to confront the pain I'd buried. Maggie's gruff kindness was a lifeline. She didn't ask questions, but her knowing glances said she understood. "Life kicks you in the teeth sometimes," she muttered one afternoon, sliding me a slice of pecan pie. "Eat up. Strength comes from the inside out." Inside, I wrestled with doubt. Was I truly starting over? Or just hiding? Jake's face haunted my dreams, his smirk as they drove away, leaving me to the coyotes and heat.
Ide bakashurin.
Heart racing, questioning, how could love turn so toxic? The law out here favored survivors. I researched quietly at the library, learning about protective orders and asset division. But revenge?
No.
That wasn't me. Yet the urge to make him feel my absence burned, a quiet drama unfolding in my soul. One slow shift. A regular named Luis. A ranch hand with calloused hands and a gentle smile. Chatted me up. "You got that look like you've seen some storms." I forced a laugh. But inside, turmoil churned. Trust again? No way. Still, his stories of overcoming a bad divorce resonated. "Forgiveness ain't for them, it's for you," he said. Those words lodged in my chest, stirring a deeper conflict. Hate Jake forever, or release the poison. As months passed, the emotional layers peeled back. I confided snippets to Maggie one closing time. Voice breaking. They left me like trash. She hugged me fiercely. "Trash? Honey, You're gold.
They just couldn't see it.
Her validation cracked me open. Tears flowed for the lost dreams, the family we never built, the home tainted by mockery. I changed my name subtly to Emma, a shield against searches. Social media? Deleted. Cash only. But isolation amplified my inner voice. You're worthy.
Emma.
Rebuild with heart. Volunteering at a women's shelter nearby deepened the drama, helping others mirrored my struggle. One woman, Sophia, shared her escape from abuse. I thought I'd die inside, she whispered. Echoing my thoughts, me too. But here we were.
Alive.
Then, a turning point, a letter arrived at the motel. Forwarded from an old address. Jake's handwriting. Emily.
Please. I'm sorry.
Come home. Rage surged. How dare he track me? But beneath it, pity stirred. Had he suffered? My mind raced. Burn it? Respond?
No.
I tore it up. But the act unearthed buried grief. That night, alone, I screamed into the pillow. Why me? The answer came softly. Because now you know your strength. Maggie's promotion to shift lead felt like validation. Your family now, she said.
Inside.
Warmth battled cynicism. Family betrayed me once. Dare I believe again? The desert taught resilience, blooms after rain. My heart, scarred but mending, pushed me forward. Wait. Recalculating, actual expanded. The emotional intensity ramped up as I delved deeper into self-reflection. Each day at the diner forcing me to face the raw wounds. Maggie's words echoed. You've got fire in you, but fire burns, and mine scorched memories of Jake's indifference. I'd replay arguments. Why don't you stand up for me? His shrug, they're family. Family? They were bullies. And he their enabler. Volunteering amplified the drama. Sophia's story mirrored mine. Her tears triggering mine. How do you forgive? She asked. I didn't know. But inside, a battle raged. Hold the grudge. Or let go for peace. Luis's advice lingered, stirring hope amid despair. The letter shattered my fragile calm. Reading it, heart pounding, I was wrong. Please. Temptation whispered, call him. End the silence. But wisdom won. This is manipulation. Tearing it, liberation flooded, yet sorrow followed. Who was I without the pain? Promotion day. Maggie's hug unlocked floods, gratitude mixed with fear. Am I ready to belong? The weight of my rebirth pressed heavier now. Each sunrise in this Arizona outpost demanding more from my fractured soul. The diner wasn't just work. It was a mirror, reflecting the woman I'd become amid the chaos of betrayal. Inside, conflicts intensified. Pride in my independence clashed with lingering shadows of doubt. You're thriving, Maggie said one evening. But did she see the nights I paced, questioning if solitude was victory or defeat? Jake's ghost loomed larger. Rumors trickled in via a distant cousin's email. He'd lost everything. Brothers distancing themselves. Schadenfreude tempted. But humanity tugged. Was this revenge enough? Or did I crave confrontation? The law offered options, restraining order if he persisted, but my heart yearned for closure. Not courts. Shelter work deepened the emotional quagmire, guiding women through their escapes. I'd choke on hypocrisy. You're strong, I'd say, while internally screaming, am I? Sophia's graduation from the program, a tearful hug, stirred envy and inspiration. You saved me, she said.
No.
I thought, you're saving yourself. Like I must. A breakthrough came during a desert hike alone. Wind whipping. I shouted at the canyons. Why did you break me? Jake. Echoes faded. Leaving in sight, He didn't break me, I allowed it. Forgiveness flickered, not for him.
But me.
Returning, I confided in Luis over coffee. It's eating me alive. He nodded. Let it go. Or it owns you. Partnership at the diner sealed my roots. Emma and Maggie's on the sign. Pride swelled. But so did vulnerability. What if it's taken away? That fear fueled growth, classes at community college, dreams of owning fully. Yet, letters escalated, Jake's pleas desperate. I need you.
Inside.
Pity warred with resolve. Respond?
No.
Burn them.
Move on.
The drama peaked one storm-tossed night. Lightning illuminated my tears as I mourned the love lost. Emerging resolute, peace over payback. The culmination of my turmoil arrived unannounced, the emotional storm peaking in ways I never anticipated. For years on, the diner hummed with life, my life, rebuilt brick by emotional brick. But inside, the scars throbbed, a constant reminder that healing isn't linear. Jake's sporadic attempts had ceased, but the void lingered. Had I truly forgiven? Or just suppressed? Then,
he walked in.
Thinner, eyes haunted. He scanned the room before locking on me. My heart seized, recognition instant, dread profound. Emily, voice broken. Inside, chaos. Run? Scream? No, stand firm. Maggie sensed it.
Retreating.
He approached, trembling. I've changed. Please. Words poured. Lost job. Brother's abandonment. Therapy. I was blind to my cruelty. Tears fell, his, then mine. Conflict raged. Believe him? My mind screamed caution. Heart whispered mercy. I rebuilt without you, I said, voice steady. He nodded.
I'm proud.
But can we try again?
No.
But compassion won. Forgive yourself.
Jake.
That's the lesson, growth from pain. We talked hours. Airing wounds.
No reunión.
But understanding. He left lighter. I felt unburdened. The article of faith. Redemption possible. For all. In the desert's embrace. I found not revenge, but humanity mine, and perhaps his.